Hi, welcome to this PowerPoint. We're going to be discussing healthcare reform. My name is Rich Dutcher. I'm doing this for Rasmussen College for the Policy and Planning class. I hope you enjoy the slideshow. First, a little introduction. The following presentation will compare and contrast healthcare reforms in two states in the United States, the state of Minnesota, which I live in, and the state of Florida. The benefits of healthcare reforms. It improves the quality of healthcare services. Likewise, the healthcare reforms improve access to specialists and also expands the number of healthcare providers for the customers to select. Above all, the healthcare reforms broaden the population that receives the medical coverage through either the public or the private sector insurances. The need for healthcare reforms. It is said that the mixed public and private health systems in the United States is the most sophisticated and expensive in the world. The healthcare costs more per person in the United States than in any other country. A greater portion of the country's GDP is spent on the healthcare services. The prices that cater to the healthcare services are much higher in the United States than any other country. Healthcare reforms in various states. It is said that most of the states with the United States have weaker healthcare systems that cannot cater for the needs of its people. The healthcare services are also limited to the wealthy people in most of the states. The poor people are left to purchase over-the-counter medications. Most of the states have derived their healthcare policies from the Obamacare. All the same, most of the states have integrated healthcare systems. The purpose of each state's reform. Since World War II, the United States healthcare has been financed by the employer. Presently, such insurances cover over 55% of the total population. Even so, there is a decline in coverage and loss of community ratings. Most of the employees have been accused of giving their employees substandard health insurances. The two states need a universal health care policy that could cater for all their citizens, whether employed or not. Similarities in health reform. In the United States, it's mandatory for all the people to sign up for the health insurance. Failure to do that attracts a penalty. Therefore, the two states have both Medicaid and Medicare. Eligible citizens have signed up for these health care insurances to allow them to access to healthy services. The two states have drafted their Medicaid to cover everyone. Also, the two states have minimized family exposure to health care costs. Moreover, both the state of Florida and the state of Minnesota have leveraged to improve the quality of health care services. Now here are some of the differences in healthcare reform. The state of Florida and state of Minnesota differ widely in regards to healthcare. Children aged 5 years are likely to die in the state of Minnesota than in the state of Florida. The state of Minnesota lags behind as far as public health is concerned. Some of the challenges include access to drinking water and nutrition. There are the problems associated with sanitation in the state of Minnesota. The health care in the state is underfunded. The budgets have failed to address the problems from all angles. The state of Minnesota healthcare system could also be described as mixed. Even though the government provides health care in primary and tertiary levels, there has been mushrooming number of private hospitals that have better facilities. Ethical issues. The universal health care was engineered by the former President Obama was implemented across the United States. Even so, there were ethical and moral issues that came with the new law. Lobby groups across Florida and Minnesota have criticized the health reforms. For example, the Catholics argue that they have an obligation to apply for moral principles in their lives. Thus, they imply that the heads of families, medical practitioners, and the employers have obligations to provide a sense of stability as well as responsible security. the Obamacare has challenged these moral principles. As per the clerics, most of the people have found it hard to uphold the fact that they are forced to make health care decisions that impact their lives. Moral disputes. The people argue that the decision to have access to healthcare services should not be mandatory. Instead, the people should be allowed to choose what they want. It is ideal for the people to make their own decisions. The medical doctors have also faced the ethical dilemmas. The reimbursements have been reduced, and most of the doctors have opted out of the medical networks. In California, more than 70% of the doctors have refused to engage in the state exchanges. For the GP doctors, the Obamacare has pressed them so hard. The volumes of patients have increased, limiting time spent with each of them. Thus, to maintain the ethical and medical standards, the GP doctors have to spend more time than usual. And finally, the recommendation on the Rasmussen healthcare systems. The Rasmussen healthcare system should expand to the second state. The healthcare system is flexible and readily available. On top of that, the health system covers for all the chronic illnesses. For this reason, the other states should incorporate the Rasmussen system to their health systems. The system would add efficiency and improve the quality of services. As the Director of Admissions, I would advocate for a more inclusive health reform to ensure that everyone, whether employed or not, has access to health care.